So basically, like any kind of smart nation kind of thing you want to do in the PDD, you can do anything.
Yeah.
It's probably what PDD used to say to his guests. Anything you want to do, come to my party. You'll be able to do anything. Everything plugs in without having to fuss over the underlying control infrastructure.
Yeah.
Everybody just plugging in.
Just BYOB. Bring your own bottle of like baby oil.
It's the new year, which means birthdays, anniversaries, and special milestones are just around the corner. And if you're struggling to find a gift for someone who already has everything, surprise them with something truly unique. A personal podcast that tells their life story. Created with Folklory. Here's how we work. Order your Folklory and tell us who you'd like us to interview. Our expert interviewer will have a heartwarming 30-minute chat with them, and in just a week, you'll receive a studio-quality podcast capturing their stories. Perfect to cherish for generations. Want to make it even more special? Get our limited edition retro-style Bluetooth speaker pre-loaded with the podcast, so it's ready to play as soon as you receive it. Order now at folklory.com. If you have questions, you can also reach out to us on WhatsApp. All the links are in the show notes. And now, on to the podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah. What's with the jovial?
I don't know, man. It felt just coming out.
Oh, I see.
I don't know why.
Excited to be done with festivities and back to work.
I mean, like for me, CNY was more. There was not that much visiting or anything.
Okay.
Some friends' houses.
Yeah.
It was more just spending time with the kid, which is damn tiring,
Yeah.
It's damn tiring.
Are you complaining or you?
No, it's great. But I've always heard people say, "Wow, spending time with your kids the whole day is damn tiring," and all. But now feeling it, right? I'm like, wow, it's tiring,
Yeah. The days are long, but the years are short, as they say.
Is it?
Yeah. Even Jordan Peterson said, the years 0 to 4 are like magical years.
I can
one
imagine.
Day you'll look back and be like, wow, maybe those were the best years.
I can imagine. I mean, now 5 months really,
since
since my kid was born.
Yeah. You're close to the end of the chaos.
The chaos.
Yeah.
Then after that, I got no more free pass saying, oh, my kid, this one, I can't do this.
Why not?
You were the one who said what? After 6 months?
No. After 6 months, you're spared. I mean, you can't like say you have brain fog all the time or that. By right, you should have some kind of schedule in place.
Okay, in my defense, have I ever said, "Hey, Terrence, sorry, I got brain fog"?
No. It's not you don't need to apologize for the brain fog, right? It's just the random stuff that happens, right?
Like what?
Like forgetting or maybe putting something on the calendar that other people had to go for. There was like a whole week off, remember, in terms of dates.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and then me and Tristan show up to a movie premiere at an empty cinema.
That was after
that was like not too long ago.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, for the 17th time, Terrence and Tristan, I publicly apologize.
No. Yeah. No, bro. I mean, I'm okay and I don't really talk about this kind of things usually. I don't bear them grudges. It's just that you are literally saying like, what brain fog? No brain fog. I'm perfectly not operating.
Oh no, capacity. I never say like I apologize. Like I use it as an excuse. If there was inadvertent brain fog, then it happened.
So I just need to keep those examples in the back just in case you come.
I can tell. They're just at the tip. That pocket where it's just at the mouth of the bag. Yeah, it's just there.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
But 5 months. Yeah. What about CNY for you, man?
Okay,
cultural.
Cultural, everything. But I was also sick. I had the flu during that week. Didn't talk about it last time, but it was quite bad. Like fever, high fever, and everything. And not just me, in my family also.
Yeah.
But it's quite serious. Like there's an actress.
Yeah.
Who just recently passed away
from influenza, right?
From influenza and subsequent pneummonia. Barbie Su, rest in peace. The one, she's quite famous Taiwanese actress who starred in Meteor Garden, a hit from the early 2000s. So it's no joke, man. This influenza thing.
I know, man. I think when you mentioned it, I think it's one of those things that people think, oh, it's just a common flu or something. But no, it's like COVID level, right?
Yeah. And the fever hits you like a truck. I think, especially now when you're a little bit older, the fever hits you different. Yeah.
And like, it just, you don't know where you got it from or who in your family got it. Was patient zero or something?
I mean, probably got it from my kid, but I don't know. But you can be a carrier for like, a few days.
And then it
suddenly just hits you like a truck. Which it did for me. Like my fever just spiked one day. And after that, it was like, the Instagram filters of like vignette, and then you can put like slowly 0 to 100.
Oh, yeah.
Like it really went from 0 to 100 for me. I saw my world like closing in.
Is it?
Yeah.
But did that kind of give you exemption from certain visits that maybe you were not looking forward to?
I think people not as welcoming to have me over lah. I think the truth is, and I don't want to go also because you'll be carrying the virus to people. You see?
Oh, you mean not welcoming because of your influenza, not because of your personality or anything?
No. Yeah. My personality is
magnetic.
Everybody wants me. I'm like the lucky one. Bring luck
that you choose. That you choose.
Yeah, I get to choose. But no, the truth is. It's a bit like COVID like that. In fact, it might be worse. Might be more contagious than COVID, especially during that whole fever phase.
I see.
Yeah. So I had to avoid a bit of.
But this past weekend, did you have to, catch up on the festivities?
No, I mean, I did some visiting and all that. But this influenza thing, it lasts for a while, man. You might be done with fever, but there's still other symptoms like, cough and stuff like that.
So you're still feeling it a bit?
Yeah, and weakness and shortness of breath and stuff like that.
Oh.
So it's... No joke. If you have influenza A, please go and see your doctor. Actually, you wouldn't know if you have influenza A unless you take the test.
And what's the difference between A and B?
I'm not sure, actually. Good question. But I think influenza A is the flu. The flu. The one that when you say you have the flu, it's the flu.
Oh, so it tends to be more aggressive and more severe compared to flu B.
Yeah.
It's like alpha male versus beta male.
Correct, yeah. And I think the link to pneumonia is that, it makes your lungs especially susceptible to infection and all that.
Oh, influenza A can infect humans and animals, while B only affects humans.
Correct, yeah. So my dog also, over the weekend, fell sick.
Huh?
Yeah. Like really, like he suddenly stopped, like he suddenly became very lethargic and didn't want to walk anymore. So
you think you got flu also?
No. But subsequently, we had to bring him to the vet, and we found out it was probably he had a back sprain or something.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so he's getting on in the years or so.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's suffering from old dog problems.
Yeah. So, but the CNY carries on for 15 days, right?
Correct. So we're still in the midst of it.
Still in the midst,
yeah.
So happy Chinese New Year weekend.
Yeah. But it's gonna next week is Taipusam also, right? Like, if I believe so.
I have no idea.
Oh, you no idea? Oh, sorry. I just entered. Let me indulge and educate you a little bit.
It's 11th February. You're right.
About Taipusam as a festival.
Yeah, it's 11th February. Damn.
Yeah. I see the stations all being set up already for Taipusam.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I mean, just to clarify, Terence.
Yes.
Not all Indian people celebrate Taipusam.
Yeah, I never said that.
But the judging eyes and tone of voice.
No, my tone was just, you Singaporean, you don't know.
Oh, yeah. No. Please. Don't give me this bullshit.
Singaporean who doesn't know Taipusam when Taipusam happens.
I could tell the judgment coming from your face. You know of it because you saw it on the road, lah. The setup,
I passed by the setup and everything.
Setup.
It looks like a big operation. Like
11th February.
Things be happening, yeah.
Oh, interesting, man.
And of course, Valentine's Day as well, right?
Oh, yeah. But I'll be traveling later part of this week for like a week.
Yeah.
To, of all places, Saudi Arabia.
This is your second baby moon to enjoy 6 months. You get to go and watch Ronaldo. Ronaldo in a football match.
No. My wife has a work event to attend. So we figured, why not, travel with the baby?
I see.
Until we found out that the destination is Saudi Arabia.
Then you leapt in the air and did the siu to celebrate being able to watch Ronaldo, right?
I mean, there is a possibility I might end up watching a game with Cristiano Ronaldo. But apart from that, we'll just be taking care of the kid while trying to do work in the hotel while my wife is at the event.
That's like the new expatriate dream, right?
Is it?
To go to, somewhere in the Middle East where, your spouse is working and then you...
you're like
the house husband.
The house husband.
And you take care of the kid during the day, then go and watch Ronaldo play at night. Right, that's like the new expatriate dream. Right?
Yeah, she goes to her real job and I'm, recording a podcast remotely with Terence from the hotel room. So that's what I mean. Hopefully I might be able to record something from there. I have no idea what to expect in Riyadh. I think it's like you might have your preconceived notions of what Riyadh might be, but I think the actual thing is probably very different.
Correct.
Yeah.
Probably can go and check out all the sites where they're going to do the World Cup next time.
Oh, they're doing it there?
Saudi, yeah.
Oh,
Saudi Arabia, yeah. Is it when's is it 20?
I know there's one public square where they used to do the executions.
Yeah. 2034.
Oh, 2034.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. But there is a square that's now kind of like a tourist destination where where public executions used to happen.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be checking that out.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Probably not the best thing to bring my kid to when I'm walking around.
Correct. Yeah.
But we see. It's going to be interesting. So I'll be there for slightly less than a week. But yeah, the show must go on and will go on.
Yes.
But yeah, so I mean, we do have some stuff to talk about today. But before we jump into that, what is the regular spiel, Terence?
If you're new to this podcast, welcome. Please like, share, follow, subscribe to make sure you keep up to date with all our releases. And if you want to work with us,
reach out at contact@ministryoffunny.com or drop us a message at ministryoffunny.com because we're always on the lookout to work with cool people and also hear from cool people.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Cool. So the first topic is, kind of related to what we're discussing, where is, Singapore as a destination, as a holiday destination or a fun place for expats and everything to visit. Is it being threatened by the global economics, right? Because it's a very worrying statistic that came out recently about the F&B scene in Singapore. What is that?
I totally did not know that we were talking about global trends affecting Singapore. Singapore as a destination.
Because we're talking about you as an expatriate, like husband, going to Saudi Arabia, partaking in nightlife.
Maybe hanging out with other expatriate husbands, having tea in the afternoon,
Exactly. Well, carrying a baby carrier and things like that. Yeah.
Well, my wife is,
hard at work.
It is the news that according to a report put together by CNA, that over 3,000 Singapore F&B outlets closed in 2024, and it's the highest number in almost 20 years.
Yeah.
So certain quotes like this one from a wine bar owner: "We are at the landlord's mercy. Everything is slowly creeping up, and we have not changed our prices over the past few years. Being squeezed from both ends is not fun." So that was the manager of a wine bar, Wine RVLT, that said that, after 8 years, in an Instagram post, they announced that they're going to be winding up.
Yep.
So when you saw this article, was it a shocking number?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it's been the highest in 20 years says something, right? Like, we always think about Singapore now as like a destination country, right? Like where people come for the 6 nights of Taylor Swift concerts, partake in the hospitality scene, enjoy Singapore and everything. But if all these F&B outlets are closing, then what options? There'll be fewer and fewer options, right, for tourists and expatriates alike to enjoy even Singapore's nightlife. So it's quite a worrying trend. There's not just, hawker centers or coffee shops that are feeling the squeeze, or, the average consumer. Even the people with a lot of money to spend, all that, they're running off. There are fewer options, right?
But this one, they said food and beverage outlets, so F&B businesses. So technically, it might also include hawker centers, right?
Probably does.
Hawker stalls and all that, right? Not hawker centers, hawker stalls.
Yeah, but I think this article in particular, it lumps everything together. And they focus a lot more on the bars and the restaurants that are closing. And it's interesting because they talk about the interplay of regulation, whether it's with regards to alcohol licenses or what happened during COVID and everything that really are killing these businesses. Whereas hawker centers is much more, it's a relationship between the government and hawkers and the people, right? So it's I wouldn't say it's it's not simpler, but it's also slightly different. This one's really the interplay of economics with regulation.
Because hawker centers, often there is a bit of government stepping in whatever shape or form, right?
They have more power to
change things, regulate
right?
stuff.
Yeah.
So in this case, a lot of the quotes was that, costs such as food, electricity and rent had increased. I think in the Instagram post that the wine bar owner put, they talked about labor costs being super high.
Yeah.
About how rent from landlords were pushed like 30 to 35% during COVID. But after COVID, they still push for higher rental increases. Then conversely, there was another article that came out last week that was titled "Waste of Money and Time. Singapore Gen Z Millennials Are Over Traditional Nightlife." Which, I mean, observe another trend that generally alcohol drinking is decreasing, not just in Singapore, around the world, but also how the rising costs of alcohol, of cocktails, of drinks, the shorter operating hours for bars especially, and the curbing of like more public drinking spaces ever since 2015 is really killing the nightlife in Singapore. Yeah,
that's right.
And I mean, certain things that this article highlighted was that, I mean, this was something that way back already we felt it, right? You know, for younger listeners who might not be aware that there's one bridge at Clarke Quay, used to be so iconic, and it used to be like a club in and of itself because it used to be packed with people drinking before they go to the clubs, and they can bring their own alcohol. And it was I only been there a few times. I think once was a couple of weeks before they enforced this ban of public drinking. But it was a way to get drunk cheap and then go to the bars.
It was a known thing. I remember we even did a video there, remember? Ministry of Funny.
We did.
We did a video where we...
Oh my God, we did
a prank video where we went there and offered shots to people. There's a little twist to the video, but we'll put a link in the description.
Oh my God, we did.
But we did record down for posterity like the significance of the place to Singapore's nightlife, right?
Oh, yeah. And we will put a link to that exact video in the show notes. If you want to peek into like what we used to do as part of Ministry of Funny, please check out the video. Oh my God, yes.
But that bridge is at least the activity of sitting there and drinking is no more.
Yeah. And I mean, like after reading this article, it made me think that, oh shit, the landscape, not just, I mean, for F&B in general is different, but like for F&B outlets that, you know, are more restaurants and bars, it is a very different time now. Because one thing also the article highlighted, which I totally forgot, is last time there used to be the extended bus service in the middle of the night. And I remember taking those buses. NR7 was the one that went all the way to Tampines. But after COVID, it never came back. And there was a private company, ANS, bus company called ANS Transit. They tried to fill the gap left by the Night Rider and Night Owl bus routes, but I don't think it lasted long.
Correct.
But I totally forgot those bus rides. And it was a big help because when you're younger, taking taxi and all was expensive. Now it's even crazier. But it still made going out at night possible.
And I think one of the bartenders quoted an article. He said that when I was younger, if I had to have a night out, 11 p.m. would be an early start. Which I remember, it was the truth. Like last time when you used to go out to clubs and everything, going out at 11 was considered like very early already. Like getting anywhere near a club before midnight was considered early.
So as the resident clubber,
like back in the day,
I do recall also like even bars or even hawker centers, right? They used to open a lot later, right?
That's what I remember,
Before COVID, right?
Yeah, before COVID.
But that means COVID really changed everything.
That's right, So I think that's the shocking thing that reading this article, you realize like a lot of things that we lost during COVID, like never came back, you know? Like all the fact that licenses aren't as readily granted for bars and restaurants to open past midnight and things like that. Those aren't coming back. And it's apparently a lot harder to get the license to operate past midnight, which is, I guess, a big factor for establishments having to close early.
Actually, So I mean, even that whole licensing thing, right? License permitting sales later, at least it seems like it used to be either more expensive or there were certain restricted numbers. But what this article mentioned was that, after COVID, it became a lot harder. Even if you had a license like that previously to renew it, it almost felt like the allotted pool of licenses got decreased.
That's right.
And then I'm thinking, like, I couldn't find anything online that kind of explained the rationale why. Which is a bit odd.
I remember, because when I read this article, I feel it's a bit of a chicken and egg problem, right? It says that people's habits are changing. But you read a lot of the reasons why people don't want to go clubbing or go out at night anymore is because stuff is expensive or the lack of options in terms of transport home or whatnot, right? So, which came first? Is it the change in people's consumption habits, or is it the fact that all these restrictions or inconveniences have made it like have turned people off going out later at night.
Ah.
So I'm a bit like I can't tell much from reading this article. I can tell that generally people are trending towards like not wanting to go out at night. But here's a thought experiment. Like if let's say they brought back the night rider and they allowed, bars to open later and everything, do you think people will be going back to like hanging out in droves outside?
I actually think they would. No?
You think so?
Because, okay, in this article, right, there were quite a few of people said that, drinking at home is better because the drinks are cheaper and, you can socialize with a smaller group. But honestly, right, unless you're in your 20s or at least 30s, how many people actually have their own place?
Good point, yeah.
Right. And I remember last time, not to say I used to drink a lot also. Of course, we had some friends whose homes allowed people to gather.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was just being out.
Yeah.
And even if you don't club, you can just go to a hawker center and have like a late night meal. And even if it goes past 12 or 1, you know that, okay, you're willing to wait 30 minutes, you can wait for the night rider.
Yeah.
And then take it home.
Yeah.
But the moment that is not available, of course, people would think like, hey, shit, if I want to go out, already things are so damn expensive. If there are no late night eating options, then your food is going to come from the bars, which are damn expensive.
Yeah.
Then the drinks are damn expensive. Everything is damn expensive. So I actually think that people would go out. Like, what you?
At the same time, like, there's also a movement against doing things like getting pissed drunk and doing unhealthy stuff right late at night. The fact is that young people today, like a lot of people when they go to interior designers to renovate their BTOs and things like that, one of the requirements is that there will be a gym machine in the house, right? So they need one section for a gym machine. That's how I think COVID also brought exercise to the forefront, right? Yeah. Where people leading very healthy lifestyles, even like at home and everything, they have very healthy lifestyles and exercise a lot. So I've been to a lot of young people's, their newly renovated BTO flats where one of the pride and joy is like this gym machine, like next to the living room, like or in its full iron glory right there. So
as in it's almost part of the design.
Yeah. It's part of the design, it's part of their lifestyle. It's like something they aspire to like live really healthily. So maybe the whole thing of like staying up late, getting drunk, past midnight, because that leads to better conversation. Maybe that's a vestige of the past. That's I know people like you, that you're not the only one. I know I have friends our age, yourself included, who are very into like conversation, alcohol-fueled conversation, right? Like you must drink so that the conversation.
No. I think now right? I can pour my heart out very easily. But last time I used to look forward to hey, let's get a bit drunk and we talk about life.
And stuff. Then you'll be very upset, right? You're very upset if people don't want to talk to you about life.
I used to be a sad drunk. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So I don't. Maybe there are fewer of people like that already, where they don't need alcohol to be the lubricant, social lubricant for them to pour their hearts out.
That's true.
Yeah.
And to dance also, I would never dance when I'm sober.
Yeah, exactly.
But when I'm drunk, right, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm not to say I dance well or anything.
But also dancing, right? Like, what was the purpose of going to a club last time?
So, admittedly, I never used to club that much. I think when I was abroad studying, that's when my drinking was at peak level.
Yeah.
But that one also was more like house parties because it was a student campus.
Yeah.
Coming back, once you're older, you typically, or at least you go out for a drink at a bar or something.
Yeah.
But dancing, last time, a big part was just to grind.
Yeah, just thank you for your honesty. I was expecting something like, just to meet people and, make friends.
Yeah, and for people listening, when I say grind, right, it's not just, grind for your side hustle, for passive income. No. It is to almost get intimate with someone on the dance floor while having your clothes on.
Correct.
Again, I'm not an expert. I do not claim to be an expert.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of that was happening.
Yeah.
And it became a part and parcel of nightlife.
It was an explicit aim, right? You go out so that not to necessarily to grind, but like I said, to meet people
and then
friends.
Be ground or grind.
So that was last time. You could be very explicit with these aims, and nobody would look at you like
now cannot. Yeah, now cannot. I even heard from I think it was someone told me a few years ago they were out like a girls' night, and like some guy tried to be frisky. Then they all like went in a circle around him and like started pointing at him, and
shouting boo.
Which I mean is good because there are people who cross the line, lah.
Yeah.
But I think the social setting for grinding does not exist anymore, lah.
So that's the thing, lah. Like maybe people have just progressed beyond that very primitive
caveman
way of like, let's go out and meet girls kind of thing, lah, right? And then we think that people want that, but maybe young people don't want that. It's not the thing anymore. Like maybe to them, grind is really, let's meet at a cafe and do work until like
intellectually
midnight. grind my side hustle, or like check on my crypto. And
everything. Let's say we take the converse that you don't want to physically grind and you want to just hang out with people and all. I do feel like things closing early, right? It builds a habit of like, okay, I'm gonna end up at home at 11 already, so why even go out? But if there's a chance to just hang out with friends a bit later, not to say you're grinding, getting drunk or anything, just hanging out at a place, just enjoying a drink together, maybe not even drinking, just eating, I do feel that layer of nightlife in Singapore, right, is kind of lost.
It's lost, yeah.
It's like when you're going home for whatever reason at like even 11:30 or midnight now, Singapore feels dead. And I mean, someone in the article wrote that they remember that the night used to be buzzing even at 2-3 a.m. I don't recall that, and I don't know whether it's just, the older generation hanging on to the past, but it feels like that. And now it feels a lot more dead. Do you feel that?
Yeah. I think the best examples, like you look at places like Australia, if you go there, like everything just feels like it shuts down by like 6 p.m. or even 5 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
And you kind of just accept that as the way of life. And in Singapore, more so than before, I feel like if it's like 8:30 p.m., if I try to go out and get dinner at a hawker center or something, more likely than not, everything's closed. And I'm shocked because last time it used to be there's always one option, at least one or two options there, like 24 hours,
Yes.
You can rely on it. Now I'm like, oh shit, I need to rush to the hawker center to grab dinner before stuff shuts down.
Yeah. And I mean, the hawkers also all getting old.
Yeah, I mean, like, average age, is it median age 60, right? So you can't expect them to stay up late.
You can't. So it feels like, yes, rental is increasing. Yes, globally there is an increase in sobriety and less alcohol drinking. But these kind of things don't help. And it just feels like sad that Singapore is now becoming one of those places, right, that at night, we all go to sleep.
Yeah. And someone was telling me like, his job, I think he was teaching or something, his job required him to, sometimes work OT, work later till 8-something, 9-something. And a lot of times when he comes out of school to, go and get dinner, the only option left open at the hour is like McDonald's. So it led to a very unhealthy diet, basically for a couple of years for him that wasn't good. And it's true. And when you really think about what options are available to you after like 8:30 p.m., it's getting fewer and more expensive.
Yeah. Because last time also, I mean, I haven't gone clubbing for a long ass time.
Yeah.
But now do clubs even open till 2 a.m.?
I think they
or
do.
3 a.m.
I think they do, yeah.
But it's only the ones who manage to get the license, right?
Yeah.
Whereas last time it felt like even the smaller bars all can go late. Maybe now it's just the KTVs, the one behind closed doors.
Yeah, behind closed doors.
The one that the blackout doors are the one you can't see inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just feels sad, man. That we have lost that kind. And I mean, that's why like it makes me question like actually why did they clamp down on the licenses to go late Of course, putting my tinfoil hat on, maybe it's because I'm sure there are some studies that show that the later you open, increased crime. And then there was that whole thing with Blue Jazz Cafe where their license was not renewed because of noise, right?
Yeah.
Because there's the duo residences opposite and all. So maybe it's because, Singapore is getting more dense, more compact, and inevitably there will be residential properties near these bars.
Yeah.
And for fear of complaints, you're like, let's just not give a license. Which is fucked up.
Yeah.
It's just damn sad.
Yeah. I mean, the whole area around Jakim Street or Zouk now, it's a very quiet residential area.
Yeah.
Right. Not like in its heyday where, I mean, we never lived there or anything back then, but I heard that, every morning when you go there, it's a smell of puke everywhere.
But that's what people don't know. Must have been a good party. And then now at Clarke Quay also, a few years ago, there was like some $62 million revamp where tenants like NTUC moved in.
Oh, yes.
Then gyms.
Yeah.
Last time Clarke Quay, people go to Clarke Quay to work out.
But maybe that's the new Clarke Quay. It's a bit like Mohammed Sultan also used to be a party central.
Yeah.
And now it's like offices, expat hangouts, coffee places.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I think being fit is damn important. I'm a super morning person nowadays. Yeah. But it just feels like, that's sad. Like, it feels like a part of Singapore has been eroded away. Like the fun part, The fun part.
I definitely, Singapore feels like it's much more like zonified, right? In the sense that last time, like if you wanted to party, you could go to St. James Power Station, near Sentosa there, or you could go to Mohammed Sultan, or you could go to like Clarke Quay, the area. Like there are like different options.
Yeah.
Now, if I tell you like you got a foreign visitor coming to like experience life in Singapore, nightlife, where would you?
Prawning.
There's still that. Yeah.
Last time got Shisha also.
Shisha. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Shisha was dope, man.
Yeah.
It was,
It's a very, very sanitized version of things now that we have in Singapore.
Yeah. And it's damn sad because I've faced that before, like a few years ago, over the course of a few years, like friends coming to visit, they're like, okay, what should we do tonight? I'm like, we can eat.
Yeah.
Then after that, we can go for a drink.
Yeah.
Then after that, eat.
Yeah.
Then maybe bowling or some boring ass shit like that. Like that part. And I think maybe it is a thing with the younger generation that because they went through COVID and COVID, when you're coming out of school and all, that's the time where almost you have the most freedom to sleep late, your body can recover.
Yeah.
Not experiencing that also feels like maybe there was something there that
was missed.
Missed.
No, that's how I used to think. I used to think that, I felt bad for these people coming, who are graduating or entering the workforce during COVID and things like that. They miss out a lot of the social aspects of adulthood, or transitioning to adulthood. But maybe the truth is that's not what they want to do, right?
Yeah.
And we're just two dinosaurs who like keep talking about grinding, like back in the day, grinding. But actually to them, like really, grinding is about cryptocurrency, about like,
and like how many muscle ups can you do?
Yeah, exactly. How many muscle ups?
You go do high rocks or not? Yeah. You go do high rocks?
No.
Yeah, what's your
Yeah.
What's your like the 3 lists, deadlift, bench press and squat? What's your combined weight?
Correct, yeah.
That's what they do.
That's the thing. And that's how they meet friends and
which is great.
Yeah. Really? Is it that great?
I mean, it's great for them. Like they're probably hearing us and thinking, look at these idiots. You want to get drunk, pass out and not remember the night.
Yeah. How's that fun? Right?
How's that fun? Then you got hangover the next day.
And then you spend like $400 on bottles.
What's the point?
Yeah, what's the point?
I mean, that's part of life, man. I feel like, I wasn't the biggest clubber or anything, but there's something about that social aspect, which is just like, you can play tennis, you can go for a hike, you can climb a mountain, and getting drunk with friends or drinking, or even not even drinking, just being out with friends during the witching hour of the night. There's something there.
Yeah. I do feel that we are losing something. Because, although we talk about drinking and partying and late at night, all that, very closely related to vices, right? KTV and all these things. But for a lot of people, it's also just a time out of your friends. I think we've analyzed even like the Mambo party, from Zouk back in the day. A lot of times it was for army boys to go there and blow off steam. And army boys are not getting any girls, right? They just go as a group of guys, shaved heads, everything, and just go party for a night and then go back to camp or whatever, right? So there is a very wholesome social aspect to going out late at night. Drinking a bit, not too much, drink a little bit, right? Socially lubricate and just hang out with friends. Of course, don't do anything stupid. And a lot of times, our whole generation, we did that and we didn't get into a lot of trouble. Right? So I just said that the option seems to be disappearing for young people these days. Correct. Like they can't even say they don't want to do it because they don't even have a chance to do it already. Yeah.
But that's why I'd be curious to know. I mean, maybe there are other ways that people are scratching that itch. I mean, now there's like these pop-ups. Like I think one thing was the ice cream block party or something. Where it happens, it ends by 10 p.m. So everybody can get back home using public transport. Then I know there are those alcohol-free raves.
Oh, yes.
You know,
and also the silent discos.
Silent disco, then these costume parties and all.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the new way of doing things.
Who knows? Maybe there's a whole underbelly in Singapore that we are completely like oblivious to. Like you talk about grinding, then like young people, they have like spooning parties already. Where they just meet up and just spoon.
No, because they say at home what?
Yeah.
But it's all free course lah. It's all free course in Sengkang,
Baby oil.
free course in Punggol. Johnson & Johnson sponsor of this free course. Yeah, you never know. They say socialize at home, but you never know what they do at home.
Yeah. They just can't write about it.
Because if you think about it, now feels also like there are more people doing the rental lifestyle. You know, co-living is a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe Friday nights is co-living. Is like baby oil everywhere, man.
Yeah.
You know, just like spraying the corridors with baby oil, people sliding about butt naked and all.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the 2024, 2025 equivalent.
Yeah. Or they have a friend who lives like in a GCB or something like that. That's big enough to have one of those slides with
and
baby
they are
oil.
listening to us talk. Look at these idiots. We got everything we want here in this fucking mansion with 17 rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go Zoop for what? Go out 5 different areas. No, this is GCB. Look at this. You never know.
Yeah, correct.
Maybe,
we might be the ones in the dark.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
And we talk about, I feel so bad for these people not having a fun time. And then they're
having the time of their lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, interesting. But there's no running away from the fact that also, if I was a young person now and I look at a drink being like freaking like a cocktail is like $20+. Last time, the few times that I did go out and all, we would get even alcohol from 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Go to places like that bridge. It can be shit ass alcohol. But you drink enough so that you go to the bar or club, you just need one drink.
Yeah.
And then you're done.
Correct.
But now if everything is so damn expensive.
But doesn't that say something about, the sad state of your existence if like you have to drink alcohol in order to
that was a phase. Yeah, that was a phase I was going through that. Like I didn't know so this is the dark side of it. Thanks, Terrence. Going to a club, not knowing what the hell to do.
Yeah.
Drinking to lose all inhibition and then just doing stupid ass shit.
Yeah.
That did happen. And I think you have seen it firsthand.
Right. But do those stay with you like in your memory as some of the greatest nights of your life or something?
Memorable.
Right?
Memorable.
Gives you something to talk about with your friends for years and years, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember all the bachelor parties, the crazy, stupid things that they do. Even now today when I bump to them and they've got like 3 kids there and everything. We talk, remember that night you went crazy.
Everybody has enough dirt on each other.
Yeah. It's like a nuclear arms race like that. Everyone has enough dirt about each other. So we don't talk about it in front of our wives.
But I mean, maybe the newer generation, there is an equivalent of that. We just don't know.
Yeah. But one thing I do find quite unforgivable is why there are no more late night bus services.
Yeah.
I do feel that regardless of clubbing or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you work late or you're just hungry, you want to go out for supper, all these things. If there are no late night bus services, it just becomes a very expensive affair, right?
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways from this thing. Why? When you look at the article that came out 2023 January talking about why the discontinuation of the night rider and night owl bus operators and the ANS Transit trying to fill that gap, right?
Yeah.
What they said was that the night rider and night owl bus routes were discontinued in late June 2022 with the LTA citing low ridership, availability of alternative transport modes, and financial prudence as factors.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's a bit hard to buy. Availability of alternative transport modes is what? Grab,
yeah.
All these ride share ones.
Right hail, yeah.
And back then, maybe 2022, I can't remember. No, that was already past the one where they were throwing discounts and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, availability, yes, but the cost, even if it's low ridership, I think what you say is a chicken and egg thing. I think 2022 coming out of COVID, maybe the tendency to go out late at night was not there. But then I think to just today and all, it was the first time that the LRT and MRT numbers have gone past pre-COVID levels. So if it took that long to go back to pre-COVID levels for transport, why is it in June 2022 low ridership means it's not viable anymore?
Yeah, it was the midst of COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually the late night bus service is such a useful thing, man. Because we have had some late night shoots.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, my point is not always only people who are, thinking of going out to get drunk then that's why they're out late at night, right?
Yeah.
And then I think to be fair to everyone, to cater to, to the masses, not just people who can afford ride-hailing services, there should be these bus services as a public service, right?
Yeah. I mean, you want to increase the birth rate in Singapore.
Yeah.
You need couples to meet, get close.
Exactly. You send a girl home, everything, and after that to go home. If it's too late to go home, then how?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you imagine a date that has so much potential? People, hey, shit, if I send you home, $20, then I'll take another taxi, $50. Why don't we just leave at 11:30?
Yeah.
But if there was a night bus, you all can go home together, do whatever you all need to do, and why don't you take the night bus home? So you don't have to stay in the morning, face the parents and all. You just go back home.
Correct. Yeah. See, solving
Singapore problems.
The fertility problem in Singapore using a bus.
Night rider bus. And I will say that taking that night rider bus also, right, it felt like there was these are my people,
Honestly, I never took a night rider bus before, because this was before my time and all that, right? I think
before your time,
my clubbing period and all that. And anyway, I don't think it's serviced where I lived at, but what was the experience like?
I mean, it was like sometimes, because back then you couldn't predict the timing of the bus, right? So you go to a bus stop, you see, as long as you know the service hasn't ended, you just sit and wait.
Oh, you just sit and wait.
Then you got time to think and all that. Then you see one bus, you're like, oh shit, NR2, fuck, Then the moment NR7 comes, right, it's like, whoa, you get on the bus, everyone has been through a similar experience. Everybody was out with friends, you sit down and in silence, you all just commute together.
Yeah.
And I actually look back at those times quite fondly.
But you don't talk to the people.
Oh, no,
on the bus, I thought it's not like a party bus where everyone's drunk and hooking up and all.
No, you get a whole spectrum. You get people who are just struggling to stay awake to get home. You had people who maybe just had a great night and just sitting there content.
Yeah.
You had people who had done stupid things and are now having to reflect. So it was a very melancholic bus ride. Yeah.
I see. Usually taken alone.
Alone.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. At least for me.
Okay.
Because Tampines, how many people, not in my circle, people were distributed all around the place.
I see.
Alone.
I see. Wow.
I mean, if you're with someone, I don't think you take the bus. You okay, we got a job.
The way you painted it as such a romantic thing initially. So, okay.
I would say more melancholic than romantic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
If you are romantic, then you spend on the cab. But then the bus back, then you take the bus.
So why do you think they are not bringing it back? Is it just dollars and cents thing or what?
I don't know whether it's the dollars. I mean, there might be a dollars and cents thing, but the feeling that I get, of course, purely speculative, the fact that licenses are so much harder to come by, services like this are not available, it almost feels like there is this movement towards, Singaporeans, you all be good.
Yeah.
You sleep early, wake up early, be productive. We need economic growth. We need to increase our GDP.
Yeah.
Don't engage in debauchery.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get.
That's the feeling I get also. I don't think it's just a dollars and cents thing. It's trying to shape public behavior kind of way. You shouldn't be out at midnight anyway. You should be at home with your kids or taking care of whatever, things like that.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I think is another takeaway from this. It feels like, there's something bigger at play. Weird.
Yeah. Hopefully some young people listening to this also tell us their views, right? About whether which came first, right? The restrictions on going out late at night or their waning desire to go out late at night or so. I'm very interested to hear.
And I mean, if anybody is in the bus industry or something, I mean, we know people, whether it really is a finance thing, because apparently the free Marine Parade shuttle bus service that has gotten quite a lot of attention costs $1 million a year to run and is privately funded. So maybe there is something bigger.
Yeah, there might be something bigger. But talking about all the zoning of different districts and every different parts of Singapore having different roles to play in our landscape. Punggol recently has come to the forefront for a very special initiative that they've launched there, right? That I think everyone should take a closer look at. And what is this initiative?
It is the Punggol Digital District, which I had actually never heard of up till now. But apparently it is this super advanced, technologically advanced smart and sustainable district in Singapore that can potentially generate 28,000 high-tech jobs and accommodate 12,000 Singapore Institute of Technology students.
Yeah.
It's designed to embrace new ways of learning and working and to make an impact on the immediate neighborhood and community. So, I mean, so many things. And but what stood out to you most, Terence, when you saw Punggol Digital District?
just the acronym PDD. If you say it fast, it sounds like P Diddy. Oh my goodness, which is like
all acronyms.
The best name ever to name yourself in 2025. P Diddy.
P Diddy. It just feels like it's going to be a digital freak off, man, every Saturday. Yeah, so there's this article that came out today that the first wave of tenants will be moving into the PDD, which I don't know who coined the term Singapore Silicon Valley in the title. I don't know whether that's a Straits Times thing or whether that's part of the unofficial term.
Yeah.
So apparently, like, this place, apparently, like, even the infrastructure and all, it is just catered towards, like, testing robots, it's a estate-wide computer operating system that allows robots, surveillance cameras, and all kinds of sensors to plug in and be controlled centrally. So basically, like, any kind of smart nation kind of thing you want to do in the PDD, you can do anything.
Yeah.
It's probably what PDD used to say to his guests. Anything you want to do, come to my party. You'll be able to do anything. Everything plugs in without having to fuss over the underlying control infrastructure.
Yeah.
Everybody just plugging in.
Just BYOB, bring your own bottle of like baby oil. But I mean, that's it. Some people are just cringing. Some people online are cringing at the fact that we're trying to call it the next, all these like the Silicon Valley of Singapore, right?
Yeah.
And there's I was also like struggling to understand what exactly this whole digital district is. But there's a pretty useful infographic from the Straits Times that kind of breaks down a lot of what the Punggol Digital District is, which we can put as a link.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is like literally even allowing robots, to operate within the district quite interoperatively, meaning that like robots from different systems like delivery system or cleaning robot, all that they can talk to each other quite easily and openly, and that allows services to cross-pollinate so that you can someone running the whole system from a third party can actually look at what is going on in the whole district. So apparently this ties into plans to expand it to other cities.
That's the ODP, the Open Digital Platform.
Yeah. Open Digital Platform, plug and play of any compatible technology. So, yeah, it sounds like a, Skynet, basically. Like, in Punggol specifically. But for you, like, when you hear Singapore's Silicon Valley, like, does it excite you about what possibilities?
No, I hate it when they say it's going to be the next, things like the Silicon Valley and stuff like that, which is, then you're just casting unnecessary expectations. And I think generally, I mean, I haven't been to Silicon Valley, but everything you hear and read, when you hear the term Silicon Valley, I never think about the infrastructure at Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
It is almost the culture of Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Right? It is the people of Silicon Valley. If you're just labeling this as the Singapore Silicon Valley without anyone there yet, then I think you're missing the point and you're setting very unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Which I think is so dumb. But for you?
I mean, the couple of times that I did visit Silicon Valley, actually it felt like a very dead place. Like you go there and there were a lot of tech companies, with offices there, and they're all in close proximity to each other. But the actual idea of a Silicon Valley itself is just like buildings with car parks, basically. And it's just engineers working inside the office. So there's nothing particularly exciting or buzzworthy when you were there, right? It's more about like the access to investors, venture capital.
The people.
And it all just takes place within the buildings. There's no like robots flying around or anything like that. Whereas when I see the plans for this, feels like much more integrated, like a city with a lot of digital services, inside lah. And it's not so, it's less about the Silicon Valley thing, but more like a futuristic, Skynet kind of city, which I thought maybe it would be a more apt way to describe what they're trying to do here.
Because I think I'm looking at the same infographic. It's almost like an interactive web page, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't have, the only things that are moving are robots, not people.
Yeah.
Right? It's robot A coming and like hanging out with robot B going up the lift to another floor.
Yeah.
And yeah, to just label it Silicon Valley. I mean, Silicon Valley was mentioned in the title, but almost like nowhere else in the article. So don't know whether it's just trying to drum it up lah. I mean, they did acknowledge that One North adapted Silicon Valley's approach in clustering startups and big players to drive innovation.
Yeah.
But if you ask the regular person on the street what the impression of One North is, what do you think are some terms that come to mind?
Office, crowded.
Dead after 7 p.m.
Dead.
Far.
Yeah.
I don't think Silicon Valley ever comes up.
Yeah. No eating options. Not many eating options for lunch or dinner.
Yeah. I mean,
troublesome.
The only thing that I think had some semblance of Silicon Valley was Block 71 lah, which was where a lot of the startups get it.
Yeah.
But it became a thing because of the startups, i.e. the people who were there.
Yeah.
To label this Silicon Valley, I don't know, man. And I mean, if you look at it, it just feels like a soulless city.
Yeah. It feels quite soulless.
But it's not meant to be residential lah. There are service apartments and hotels. So I don't know whether like when Changi Business Park was launched, it also had like similar kind of messaging lah.
Yeah, that actually would be interesting to see like, how they market it differently.
Because Changi Business Park also now is not the most exciting place.
People, a lot of times in day-to-day parlance, they label it as like a back office for the banks, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of outsourced work going on there.
Yeah.
So not particularly an exciting place for people to want to visit or live near.
Yeah.
So the thing is that Punggol is also very close to a lot of residential areas, right? Nice parks, nice waterfront area and all. So maybe the idea is to try and push the population towards there. And I believe like there's also the SIT, the university, which is going to base itself fully from there. So they could be trying to rejuvenate that people actually working there, right? And give a new lease of life.
And I mean, there's a new MRT, the Punggol Coast MRT station.
Yeah.
So that is on the Purple Line. And yeah, it goes straight to the SIT Punggol campus.
Yeah. But I think it might be a good thing to try to push all these companies away from like the CBD and the standard places that they would be. Especially a lot of these tech companies or so, right? Push them towards more the fringes of the city rather than actually be in the city itself.
But then that means the CEOs all will be further away from their GCPs.
Correct. Yeah. They need to build some helicopter pads. That'll be a real smart nation when CEOs can take helicopters to and from work.
Yeah. But I mean, this thing, I don't know, man. The starting already, it feels like the plans for messaging and all were conceptualized when maybe this PDD was conceptualized and it hasn't been updated.
Correct. But I mean, you also can't blame them. They wouldn't have known what PDD was up to like all these years in Hollywood, right? Only the last year, then suddenly you're like, oh shit. Should we rename everything? They say, no, nobody will think
like
of PDD.
When the first articles came out of PDD, they're like, hey, sorry, our launch is next year. Oh, you think it's code red yet or not? No, let's stick with PDD.
Then all the little revelations about baby oil and all that came out. Oh shit! Why? Now it's so hard for me to go and talk to Johnson's and Johnson's about this really.
No, and then like there was one correction in the article. Apparently, an earlier version of the story named Boston Dynamics, that got famous because of the robotic dogs and humanoids as an upcoming tenant, but JTC has clarified that it is no longer accurate. But yeah, I mean, suddenly 2 years down the road, we look back on this podcast saying, well, we just shitted on it so prematurely. I mean, if it goes well, if it succeeds, then I guess that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. But it is a bit creepy.
Let's see where the PDD trial goes soon, right?
PDD, yeah.
I mean, it's just they have to lean in on that whole digital name already, right? They can't move away from it. But like if it was up to you, like rather than call it a digital district, what else do you think they could have called it?
Maybe just like a digital city, PDC.
Yeah. PDC.
PDC.
Yeah, maybe something future city or something.
Yeah,
like that
but
also.
it's not necessarily a city,
Correct.
District,
district.
yeah. Digital estate.
Yeah. PDA.
Yeah. PDA, yeah. So PD.
Yep.
PDD, but it is, and looks like it'll always be PDD. So we see how it goes.
Unfortunate name.
Yeah,
but yeah. So what is your one Shiok comment of these couple of days?
My one Shiok comment. Okay, let me pull it up. You have yours already?
No, I'm also pulling it up.
Oh, okay. Okay, wait. So I have. Yeah. Okay. Wait. So if you have yours.
Yeah, mine's interesting discussion going on in the Yellowbutt thread about the last podcast where we talked about. I think we talked about it as a comment, right? About the fact whether we should be calling Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year in Singapore. So a little bit of comments coming in on our Yellowbutt subreddit where there are some views that that talk about Lunar New Year being an inaccurate name for Chinese New Year, right? But also on the other side, people have said that in Singapore we've called it Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year interchangeably for decades, and now it's just people bringing their own politics or their own views of the world to Singapore, and we need to guard against that. So quite interesting discussion when I've brought this up to relatives that over the Chinese New Year period. Also, I see a whole spectrum of views about it. And
that's why they don't invite you, because you answer them kind of stupid questions.
Hey, this is far better conversation than 90% of conversations that go on at Chinese New Year. Far better. I'm confident of saying that without
a way of deflecting. It's a way of deflecting.
It's just like, Deepavali, I'm sure you talked about it during Deepavali as well, right?
Actually, no. I only had one Deepavali gathering, which was kind of low-key and a bit awkward. Like that.
Okay. You're not interested to find out what people thought or anything?
Did that come out after Deepavali?
No, it's during. Yeah. Right, during. Yeah.
Then I'll save it for this year.
Okay.
I'll save it for this year. Where when things go slow down again.
Yeah.
I'll save it for this year.
Yeah.
My one Shiok comment is actually something that came on Spotify. Someone pointed out that they do have McSpicy in the UK. But the chicken breast just doesn't slap the same way.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I don't know. McSpicy. And I think someone also mentioned that McSpicy is in another country also. So maybe travel, but something about the Singapore McSpicy. That's dope.
It's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one big part for me is that you have to sweat after eating it, right? Like if the weather is too nice and cool, you eat it, just feels a bit off.
Oh, really?
It should make you sweat.
You sweat?
Yeah, it's spicy.
I can't take that much chili, but I don't sweat. Thankfully, last time I ate it, I didn't sweat.
Okay.
Like sweating when you eat to me then I would feel like I shouldn't be eating this.
But that's like all like Chinese hot pot and everything. That's how it is.
But that's because if you get the spicy hot pot.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't even like hot pot.
Yeah.
But over the weekend, I had the first time we had the mala, you choose the thing, then you fry it up. No.
Oh, like in the hawker center.
Mala.
Yeah.
Mala ching.
So it's your first time. Why do you choose to have that?
Oh, my sister-in-law has been wanting to take me and my wife for a while because she's a fan. And we went, I fucking loved it.
You loved it?
I loved it.
Wow.
It's the lowest spicy, the small spicy.
Way. It's not even xiao. It's way.
Yeah, it was great.
Wow, look at you, a convert.
Wow. I always knew that, okay, I might like it.
Yeah.
But I just never went.
You're not open-minded enough to try.
I wouldn't say that, but it always felt like, because it's one of those that, okay, it's going to be a jelak meal.
It is.
But you just accept it.
It's always a risk. Like I always can only have it closer to the weekend because there's a good chance that I'll be seated on the toilet.
But if you had the whey,
to me, it's the oil. It's the oil or the way they cook it or what.
Oh, no, I liked it.
The spice is just a small detail.
I see. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So you're supportive of all these mala businesses coming in, and
that wasn't at a hawker center. It was kind of like a mala place,
like a specific place.
Yeah.
Still, relative to what we're saying, taking over all the F&B outlets that are closing down.
Yeah.
In Singapore, you're okay with like these larger.
Those were started by
brands.
Singaporeans.
I see. Singaporean mala.
Singaporean mala.
You checked all your boxes before you went out. This is started by Singaporean.
Started by Singaporean. No, but one thing we didn't mention about the food places closing, like over 3,000 closed, but over 3,700 new F&B establishments were started. Yeah, and I know this feels like we're going back to the first topic, but I think like some people on Reddit pointed out that F&B industry is cutthroat as hell.
Yeah.
And the turnover is always damn high. So even over the past 20 years, maybe the number of closures were not that high, but maybe the number of openings were not that high either. So they kind of, it's like the yin and yang. Yeah. But yes, I digress.
Okay.
Okay, what about your one Shiok thing, man?
You have yours?
Yes.
Okay.
It is this Instagram account that I came across recently. I'm not so sure who operates it, but it's got over 2 million followers. It's just called This Is How Things Work.
Okay.
And they just have posts that, almost adopt the same kind of meme format where there's a picture and a caption. But they just have fun stuff. Like, of course, they have stuff about how the seatbelt was invented. Apparently, the seatbelt was invented in 1959 by Volvo. They invented the 3-point seatbelt, then gave a free license to all other car manufacturers to use it.
Yeah.
And then the caption has a bit more detail. But they also have interesting things like, apparently in 1942, a band named Wojciech joined the Polish army. He carried artillery shells, drank beer, and was officially enlisted as a soldier. So it's just an account that has all these fun facts.
It's where is this? It's on
Instagram.
Instagram, I see.
Yeah. So, and they have an infographic about how the general size of farmer chickens has increased almost exponentially since 1957. Then it makes you think, oh shit, is that how a natural chicken is supposed to look like? But yeah, so I like it. Yeah, very obscure facts.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you, man?
Mine is this YouTube channel of the Danish National Symphony Orchestra. I think the YouTube channel is called DR Concert. Who's it? I'm not very sure if this is the official channel of. Yes, it is the official channel of the Danish National Symphony Orchestra and other Danish, like the National Girls Choir and Radio Big Band and National Vocal Ensemble. But yeah, they have a YouTube presence, and it's quite interesting because they actually cover a lot of like pop music on as classical tracks.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like they actually have like the Succession theme, for example, or Interstellar, or a lot of different Last Tango in Paris, Gershwin, and then Dick Tracy's theme and James Bond's themes as part of the National Orchestra. So they did I think they did one on the one for Succession, which I thought is one of the most beautiful renditions of the television show's theme I've ever heard. So, yeah.
Is it the one that also does like the Godfather one?
Yeah, exactly. Godfather as well. They did Interstellar, they did Frozen, they did Taylor Swift, a lot of different things. So it's pretty good. Yeah. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole listening to the tracks.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, good for people who like soundtracks but don't necessarily want to listen to the original songs. Usually the originals, the soundtrack, like the tracks are usually very short because they're made for TV.
Yeah, correct.
So like Succession one.
So that means they extend it.
Yeah, they extend it with like different instruments. And
so
everything.
They kind of compose.
Yeah. So it becomes like something you can actually listen to, and it's quite shock. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool, man. But yeah, cool. That's the podcast for today.
Yeah.
So as always, remember, follow us on social media: Spotify, Apple, Instagram, TikTok, linked Reddit. And if you want to work with us,
go to ministryoffunny.com or check us out. Email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com.
Awesome. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to you all soon.